So I've just been told by Ailey that Tor did a talk yesterday. So if I start crossing over on things, I apologise. But to be honest, even if 10 separate agents did the same talk, it'd be different because each agency looks for different performers and people anyway. I got on really well with Tor. Did anyone see our Facebook Live video?
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't realise how long that would be. We were both worried about not being able to talk for long, so that's quite ironic. We both just spoke for ages. But yeah, a lot of the points I'm going to cover in this talk, we sort of got a lot of questions on the Facebook Live, because I suppose the main thing, if you're a performer applying to an agency, is just like, how do you notice me and then continue to get regular bookings. And there's a lot of things you can do to, you know, heighten your chances. However, sometimes it's not anything to do with everything you've done. Sometimes agents just prefer booking people they just know and they've used for years, and you might be better than them, but it's getting that first booking that's the hard one. So there was a question right at the end of my last talk about how to email a client. So for me, it's really, really simple, but I get emails every single day that are completely incorrect. So I think I touched on it in my last talk. Just send a short, friendly email, research the company you're emailing, and try and put the first sentence relating to that company. So if you're like, hi, I'm a dancer, here's my CV, I'm probably not going to read your email because I get so many of them. Same with, you know, whatever your skill is. So, you know, you could be like, oh, hi Gemma, I just saw you did a great event last week in Jordan. That looked like fun. I'd love to get on a job like that. Please see my updated show reel, and then list your skills, and then, you know, email signature with your contact details on. Great. And also just email me regularly, not like every day. That will annoy me. But we all forget, and I'm guilty of it. I can, oh my God, what is that performer's name? They're amazing, and I just can't remember because they're not on my website, and they emailed me 3 years ago. And you don't want to annoy people. You want to get that like nice balance of like reminding people who you are, but also not annoying them. So yeah, make sure you list all your skills, where you're currently located, if you drive, and if you either own a car or have access to a car. Because one of the biggest problems I find as an agent is costume logistics. So if you drive, and I could put you on 2 gigs, I know that, like, you know, you could take the costumes maybe for the next gig for all the other people because you drive, and like little things like that do make a big difference, especially to me. Send a link to your photos, videos and CV. If you're just first applying to me, you don't need to send a link. You can just attach them, but just don't attach like 25. Just attach like 3 or 4. Put the link to your show reel, your nice new show reel. That is short and film landscape and steady, in your body of your email, and then attach your CV if you really want. I don't normally read CVs massively. I just would watch your show reel. I'm quite a visual person. So, you know, it's good having one, but some agents, I suppose, would read them. High quality media in a downloadable Dropbox format. So I personally have, as an agent, a branded YouTube and an unbranded YouTube. So if you were sending me your juggling promo, I would then maybe re-edit it, put it onto my unbranded show on a private link, and send that to my client. However, if you send me a YouTube video of your show reel, and it's on your YouTube channel, even if it's unbranded, they'll be able to find you, and obviously then I'm doing my work for free. I'm just being like hey, here's a really cool guy, you don't have to pay me as the middle person. So YouTube, yeah, obviously you can download the videos, you can rip them. However, it's just another thing that the agent has to do in their busy day. So if you can take that step away from them, and also sometimes those websites you're not supposed to do it, they don't work and blah, blah, blah. So if you just send it in, easy, downloadable Dropbox, not with like 100 things and your family photos and pictures of you and your cat, just, you know, a very simple like fire show reel folder, and you click in there and you've got your photos and your video. Very simple. Keep it up to date. No 2012 outdated photos. Yeah, just keep them up to date. And also just, you don't need like 100 pictures because you're never going to send that many. So just narrow it down. Like, yeah, the top 8 width pictures will be fine. Master your skill. Sounds like an obvious one if you want to be a professional performer. And fair play to all those people who get booked 4 times a week, not knowing what they're doing. There are a lot. But I've seen it before. Like one of my first gigs I got as Evolve Entertainment, I did that because it doesn't exist, but went to a festival and there was an agent who was very big and I respected them, and they had an equal number of performers on the job as I did at this festival, and none of the fire performers had any safety equipment. So, and there was 15 of them doing huge flames on stage, and I brought enough for my 4 fire performers and some spare. So I was just like, oh God, and they're an agency, so I just think, just make sure that you have everything you need as a performer, especially if you're an agent, but master your skill as well as the safety for your performance, even if it's juggling or stilt walking. Just make sure you make regular checks of your equipment, make sure your insurance is up to date, you've got your risk assessments. Like I got asked last week for a risk assessment for my Clockwork Ballerina act, which is a bit ridiculous because the risk of falling over, there's not really any risk with her, whereas I'm sure some of you in the room do actually do quite dangerous performances. So as an agency, I always want to make sure I'm like, oh yeah, that performer was really good, they impressed me, they fireproofed all their clothes and they turned up with not only extinguisher but all their wet towels and tarpaulin, and they had gloves to, they weren't shaking their fire equipment over antiques, and they were it's small little things that you think that maybe agents are not watching and they'll see you do, and you might have got your first booking with me, but then I'm like, oh my God, just the way they acted when they came to the job, I wouldn't then maybe rebook them. And with still touching on mastering your skill is, I suppose as a performer, when I was just a freelance performer, the thing I liked is that you can pretty much just be your own boss. And if you want to work, you can work, and if you don't want to work, you don't have to work. You can sleep in, your Monday's the best day, everyone else is in their office, But at the same time, you then tend to then maybe not lack motivation, but you don't do as many hours as someone in a full-time job would, because you don't need to. But really, if you're here and you're looking to get more work, just keep practicing and training in your skill. Or if you think that I'm pretty much the best I could be, there's always room to improve, but if that's what you think, then take on a new skill to try and get those bookings, and contact the agents you want work for and say is there a particular skill you really struggle to fill? I'll learn that skill. If it's similar to what you already do, if you're already a juggler, then you can learn fire juggling or contact juggling or something like that. But just put more hours into your skill. So if you've got a great promo and then you just rest on your laurels for 2 years and you're not really training. And also, don't try new moves at jobs. Just don't do it. Because, you might be the most talented performer in the world and you think, oh yeah, it's fine, there's only a few people walking into the venue, no one's really looking. You don't know where the agent stood or their client stood. And, you might try a trick and drop it, and, I just think, just save it, just train in your own time, and then do less advanced moves that you've mastered at the actual job. And then, like I said before, research the company you're applying for. There's so many event companies that you can contact. There's so many. Event entertainment, just event entertainment, or event companies that employ performers direct. Because a lot of them do. Some of the huge ones even have entertainment sectors that just look for, amazing talent. And sometimes it's hard. You're sat on Google, you type in event entertainment London. You just spend a few hours finding all these new clients, and before sending them an email, just give them a ring and just say oh, I'm looking to join your books. This is what I do, la la la. Don't have a half an hour conversation with them, because you might annoy them. But, just make that first initial contact, make it friendly, professional, and remind us, because I personally am quite bad at this. Someone might be absolutely amazing, I've just totally forgotten they exist because they're not on my website, or I haven't employed them for 3 years, or they take ages to reply to an email, so I just stop emailing them because it's just one more email to send. So if I'm going to wait a week, even waiting 3 days, that's actually quite a long time for an agent, because most of the time, especially, I don't know if any of you work with Scarlet Entertainment, everything's urgent. Urgent, urgent, I need it in 9 minutes. And I'm like, there's no way I can contact 15 performers and put a pitch together in 9 minutes. It's just not going to happen. So they are very, very quick. And I've got a lot of bookings with a lot of agencies because I reply quickly. So just check your emails. There's no excuse now. They come up like a text message. So just reply. Even if you're out and you think, oh, you know, they always inquire and they never really confirm. Maybe it's because you're sending the wrong stuff. Maybe it's because you reply going, yeah, I could do that job. But they've said, hi, John, can you send me your set times and your fee and please include your travel? Let me know if you need a hotel. And you've replied, yeah, I'm free. I'm not going to email you again. Like, or if I will, I'll just be like, I told a performer off recently, he's absolutely amazing, I give him loads of work, but I'm like, you're such hard work to email because it takes 6 or 7 emails to get the answer that I want. So I said, so there's probably a lot more agencies that haven't emailed you 6 times back trying to get that very easy piece of information from you. So yeah, I always think it's very simple, but I suppose I never want to tell anyone how to suck eggs or, you know, like be condescending. However, it does happen every day. People apply to me and write me their life story, you know, or ring me for an hour about their new magic trick and you think it will be great. I'm like, I'd never want to be rude and be like, I need to get off the phone. But, you know, in real life, I need to get off the phone. But I just don't like saying that. So it's just like using your brain and writing professional emails. Also, your email address. If you're like Miss Naughty _ 99, maybe change that. That's what I did actually as a performer. Yeah. I created a performer persona, which I never really wanted to do, only because I got interviewed by a magazine when I hadn't even really become a performer. And they were like, oh, everyone in this magazine might, not everyone, but whoever reads it might just Google your name. And my Facebook will come up with all my drunk university pictures. She was like, do you really want that? So I created like Gemma Dance, which now I might delete because I feel it's really weird now I have an agency, I have a separate persona. But that was my performer page, made a new email address, and then my performing career started to go up a lot more. And maybe that was, you know, not just the email address, but it all helps. It's all little things. Yeah.
With that separate, was it Facebook? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that separate Facebook account, how often were you using that and like posting on that? Because
it's hard because I understand there's 2 types of people. There's like people that love to put their whole life on social media and other people that are like, it's chore. But I'd say that like if you're actively looking to get bookings from said performing page, most days. So there's a statistic, I won't go into it because social media talk, people might do it. But like if you have 10 comments on a post, it stays at the top of people's newsfeed for 24 hours. Okay. You only actually need 5 comments because you can reply to those 5 comments as a separate comment. Don't click reply, make it a separate comment and at them. Yeah. And you've got 10 comments. But now I use that Facebook purely for work. So if you ever send me a personal message really emotional, everyone in my office can read it because it's just my work persona. Only because I have a lot of performers who I might send an email to 3 days later, they still haven't replied. So I'll send them a quick Facebook message and be like, hey, did you get my email? And they're like, yeah. I was like, could you reply? But I don't like contacting people through Facebook. I feel like it's an unprofessional method. However, it does work. So, and same with, sometimes I'm so busy, I haven't got time to email 25 dancers. I'll put a status up. I only ever employ people that I know. Yeah. Some people are like, oh, you put a status up, you just employ random. So I'm like, no, I sift through and I see the people that I know. Yeah. But sometimes it's just quicker and easier. But it's hard. Some people set up a page that you have to like a business page. And I think it's a lot more easier to like you if you're a person, rather than a business.
I think this is where I struggle because I set up a separate page for that particular reason because I just really did not want to have to sit through all of those photos and be like, oh no,
yeah.
So I just made a separate one and I was like, okay, that's going to be the thing. But I think there's this association where suddenly it becomes like
like a thing you have to do.
It's less easy to, it's more organic, obviously, to post on your personal page and stuff. That just comes a bit more naturally, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's like the work one, it's like, I feel like I'm thinking very much about what am I posting, how is it looking on me, which then makes me, it kind of deters me from posting on it often, which is maybe a thing.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I'd say if you can, post one thing a day on stories. So Instagram, people that watch your stories, if you don't post for 3 days, you know, it comes up with the people you watch all the time, and then it filters to the people that you don't watch. If you only post every like 3 or 4 days, then you'll like slowly drift to the back. So even if you, like, I find it really hard getting people to engage with my company profile, because it's like a faceless, like, you know, thing. It's not you. All your friends will like your stuff to be like, yeah, you look amazing. But, you know, sometimes I've employed like a saxophone player. Nobody cares. But I have to try and get likes, and it's good to show what you're doing. And I find it a chore. So if you've just done a post and you don't think of anything to put a story, just put on the story that you've done a post. But yeah, I won't go too much into social media. That's okay. It's a very, unfortunately, it's the world we live in. You have to like tell everyone what you're doing all the time, else you never did it. But it's also good for you to have a reference and to look back on and be like, look, all those amazing jobs I did. So be careful who you associate yourself with. So this comes with both ends of the scale. So obviously, sometimes it's difficult. You know, not all agencies work alongside each other. Some agencies just like to like rip off what you do, and you know, then you like not associate yourself with them. Same with other fellow performers. You might have had it where performers, you know, maybe steal a job or undercut you. So I think associating yourself with good people and good agents. And if one of your friends is working for a really nice agency and they're like doing all these great jobs, get your friend to recommend you and say, you know, oh, my friend Jennifer, she's really great. You should really give her a chance, because then me as an agent, I might listen to that and be like, oh yeah, actually, okay. But she might have not have been able to, I might have dragged her into a folder and thought, oh, I'll read her when I'm not as busy, her email. I do always try and reply to everyone because I think it's rude not to, but it is hard, like especially I get every day Instagram DMs on my personal Instagram. Hey babe, I'd like to go to Jordan. Cool. Okay, I'm not going to reply to you. Like, and then the same on Evolve and the same on the Facebooks, and you know, just send an email. And it's a difficult one with rival agents. You might not know what agencies are rival agents, and I just mean if an agency's known for like, you know, like low quality work, like not paying people, everything like that, and you're working for them all the time and moaning about it, and you're wondering why you're not getting jobs from the other agencies, probably why, because you're just associated with that agency. So sometimes, it's what I started doing as a performer, started saying no to some cheaper jobs with some agencies that didn't have the greatest reputation, to then be able to allow myself to get the other jobs. And I know it's super difficult if you're like living on the breadline, but just don't advertise that you work for them. So I used to do some jobs all the time, promo, hostessing all the time, but I never used to tell anyone. I didn't put it out. So yeah, you might have been able to find me on some kind of random Facebook page, but I wouldn't be posting about it on my own social media. Yeah, unprofessional performers. If you are like, say, in a changing room and you're friends with someone and they're just like openly talking negatively about other performers or agencies, you might then get tarred with the same brush. And it's like a big pet hate of mine, especially like in this type of industry, because people can get like different versions of the story. So obviously a performer is going to paint themselves in the best light and the agency in the worst light, and the agent will actually probably just tell you the truth and say, well, actually they were 2 hours late, forgot their stilts, so I didn't pay them. So yeah, I just be careful if you're with someone that's doing that. Just tell them to like chill out and not say it in front of everyone. And then again, like recommendations, especially from agents to agents, There's a lot of agents that we just try and create different things and like all work alongside each other. And there's a lot of agents that have all been doing the talks, like Flambe and Josh's company, Circus Uncertainty. We all just try and work together rather than replicate what each other do. We all just work together, and that's what you should do as performers. So, you know, if you know a certain agency you're trying to get in with, but you work with a similar agency who work together, just ask them to recommend you. Or if you haven't got promotional footage, they might have you included in one of their show reels. You could be like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then online presence. So unfortunately, if you send me your lovely airbrushed portfolio shot, I will look for you on Facebook because I want to see what you actually look like, because none of us look as we do in our lovely airbrushed photographs. So even if you only have a personal Facebook, just make sure like the last 10 pictures you're tagged in, you know, not like you on a night out, or just try and like have an album that's normally the most recently updated that says performing or model portfolio, or whatever you want to call it, so that like I'll be like, oh, I'll click on that. And just get rid of old profile pictures or old albums, just make them private so you could just see them yourself. So you've still got them there, but it's really important, unfortunately. Everyone gets Googled.
Alright, so a question on that.
Yeah.
A lot of my profile pictures have just been performer pictures as well. I would say they're not as high quality as what I do now, but most of them are performer sort of esque photos. Do I delete them all?
No.
Delete my Facebook, I don't know.
No, keep them, because it shows your experience. Yeah, it shows your experience. Because sometimes, like, you know, someone will reply to me and I can literally see you've been doing fire for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, well, obviously earning income for this long. So even though the pictures will probably start off really good and then filter to not very good, I wouldn't delete them all. I just maybe sift through and delete any like terribly embarrassing personal pictures that you maybe like, or go on your profile picture and click the other way. You'll be like, oh, the first ever profile picture.
I've done that a lot.
Yeah, it's like when it comes like with the memories, and you're like, some people like, let's get rid of that one.